What's up, guys? Welcome to Choose Podcast. My name is Salman Ali at Salman Ali NBA on X and Blue Sky. Here joined by Forrest Walker at Do Nots on Blue Sky and X. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Doing all right. So it's been a few months since we last recorded. Let's recap and react to everything that's happened since then. And to be honest, there's not really much. The season did start, but
Yeah,
in terms of like
true.
newsworthy items, there's only like a couple things.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Let's get to them.
Let's start with the Kevin Durant extension. Obviously, Durant was on an expiring contract heading into the season. We were kind of surprised that an extension hadn't worked out the week that he was traded to Houston. But the reporting seems to indicate that it was going to get done one way or the other. Well, now it's gotten done. It's gotten done at a pretty reasonable figure, I would say. Some may go as far as calling it a team-friendly deal. I'm personally not there yet, but I think there's a case for it. Look, he did just turn 37, and this extension basically takes him to age 40. Over the last 5 seasons, he's averaged 57 games a year. There's significant risk of age and injury-related decline with Durant. Remember, this is a guy who's already had a Jones fracture and a torn Achilles in his foot.
Yeah.
With that said, like, I do think it's like borderline team friendly, and it's still a solid deal for Durant. Like, after all, this is one of the greatest players of all time, and he's still playing at an all NBA level. He's 8th all time in scoring. If he just does what he did last year, he has the potential to pass up Wilt, Dirk, and Jordan to be 5th all time, right? In scoring. He's still ridiculous. He's still the decline has been very minuscule. It's been very much how he plays his game. Some of the impact numbers are showing that he's declining for sure, but it's not as steep as one might think. Or it's certainly not what it should be at this point.
So what I'll say about this is that this deal is a lot more team friendly than people thought it was going to be. I think I more or less agree with you that whether this is a team-friendly deal or not has yet to be seen. Like, we'll have to see how his season plays out, how his following season plays out, what his age-related decline is going to look like. Because the fact of the matter is that once you're over 35, you start experiencing age-related decline. Whether you're a basketball player or a school teacher, it doesn't matter. Simply, this is the way of the human body. So. It's 15 million less than the max you could have commanded per year, right?
Yeah, 30 million less total on the contract. Yeah.
So that's good. I mean, it's certainly a savings when you compare it to how much he could have gotten, but that's not always the most informative thing.
I don't think we've read the number, by the way. It's 2 years, 90 million. That's the extension. So he'll be with Houston for this season and 2 more.
Right. And the reason it's getting some praise is because that does save them some money, and it puts them right up to below the second apron, right? Is the idea that
so they still have like some wiggle room to do stuff, particularly with Tari Eason, which we'll talk about in a minute.
But a second,
yeah.
This deal, I think, it's about as good as you're going to expect, right? I more or less agree that Kevin Durant It wasn't like he was going to go out there and get $60 million from somebody. I don't think that's really what was going to happen. I mean, maybe someone would have just been like, we need someone to get tickets in the door, and we need to sign this extremely famous guy. But he's not. The number of players who are worth that percentage of the cap is pretty low. I am not 100% convinced that Kevin Durant is that still.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. He was a Supermax player. I don't know that he is at age 37 and upwards.
Right.
So I think this is probably a pretty fair contract for both sides. I don't know what to say about it other than it feels fair for both teams, for both parties.
That's what I would say too. I'd say it's a solid piece of business and one that they had to get done. Frankly, especially after the VanVleet injury, there felt like there was some urgency to get this done.
Yeah.
And I feel like, listen, he is 7 foot tall, right? And he has a skill that's going to translate. It should translate very well into his latter career, like the latter years of his career. And he is playing really well the first 2 games. But you're right. The impact numbers just aren't the same as what they were. Like Kevin Durant, in his prime, could carry a team to 50 wins, right? Easy.
Yeah.
He's not that anymore. He needs more,
No.
right? He needs to. He's more of a finishing piece. And some could argue he's always been better as like a complementary talent, anyways. But especially into his latter half of his career, he has to be like just what he is, right? Not more, not less. And he's getting a contract that is not more, not less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems commensurate.
Yeah.
My feeling about the timing of all of this is that I think the primary motivator of why it happened when it did and not earlier, because it could barely have happened later. There was only like 2 days left, or
Right.
well, I guess it could have. Scratch that. Actually, his contract could have been signed later, but you don't want that happening during the season. That's a pain that everyone wanted to avoid. I think my guess and why it took so long is because I think they were hoping to get the Tari Eason deal done first, and then deal with what cap space they had at that point moving forward.
That's probably a fair. I mean, and it also felt like Houston thought there was real momentum towards the Tari Eason deal. There was reporting to suggest that they thought they were close. And it appears, I mean, I guess we can talk about that now.
Yeah, we should just move on to that one probably.
Yeah. Tari Eason, an extension that did not get done because
Nope.
that is the other bit of news. The deadline for rookie extension has passed. The Rockets tried to secure a deal with Tari and got one done quite early in the summer with Jabari, frankly, but they couldn't do it with Tari. Tari will now become a restricted free agent next summer. The Rockets will have the right to match any deal he's given by another team. When this originally came out, I tweeted that the Rockets were probably reluctant to offer Eason a higher deal than what they gave Jabari. If you remember, Jabari was given a 5-year, $122 million deal. And Houston's also up against the second apron, right? Like, they're not there yet, right? They have some wiggle room, but, like, signing anything more than it looks like I mean, we'll talk about that in a second. But like, signing a significant contract like this can put them over. And really, they only had like 25 million left under the second apron.
Like tops.
Yeah, like 25 mil. So we've since learned via Brian Windhorst that the Rockets actually offered Eason a deal in excess of $100 million. So probably a 5-year deal, $20 million per. Yeah. Unknown how much that was guaranteed.
Yeah, I'd like to do a little timeline of this because, as you said, early in the season, Jabari Smith Jr. got that contract extension. That was quite early in the offseason. That was like within the first like few weeks.
July 4th, probably, right? Yeah.
And so the noise is all that they were going to follow Atari as soon as possible was everyone's assumption. As time went on, it just sort of went away. And then soon before, and then I guess it was right after the deal was made with Kevin Durant. The reporting was all, it is expected they will get everyone expects they'll get a deal done. Everyone expected they would get a deal done. Both sides are close. And then suddenly there was a Shams report of they're not going to get a deal done.
If one were to dangerously speculate on this, it could have been like the Rockets knew they were going to offer, Eason this reported $100 million deal, and they're like, he's not going to turn this down, right? Like they probably thought that. They probably leaked that. And they came to Eason. Eason's like, no, I'm betting on myself here. He thinks he can get something from Houston or another team that's at least close to Jabari money. And to be honest, I'm not sure I agree with that self-assessment. Listen, I like Eason as a prospect, but I did have him ranked 5th out of 6 when the Rockets had like 6 prospects, right? Like the only person I had lower was Jalen Green, right? There's a few things holding me back. The injury history. Eason's averaging like 54 games a year for his NBA career. He's young, right? He should be like this shouldn't be an issue.
And also that's a freak thing. The weird bone spur, whatever, on his shin. There's some sort of a bone issue that he needed a surgery to fix.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it sounds like the kind of thing that is not going to like recur most likely, but it has a very long lingering tail on it. He missed a lot of time because of that.
Right. And that's your value, right? He's not that young, actually. I think people forget.
He's younger than you think for his years.
Yeah, I think people forget that this was a 2-year guy in college. He turns 25 this season, right? For comparison, Jabari turns 23 this season, right? They were both rookies in the same draft class. The Rockets already have Dorian Finney-Smith, Amen Thompson, and Jabari Smith. Unless the team decides to do something drastic, like trade out Prince Şengün, I don't see a scenario where Eason is a long-term starter on this team. and that's kind of what's been holding me back. Oh, those three things.
Yeah, I mean, he could make some leaps still, but I think that's basically right. Especially seeing him play so far this season. It's one. I'll tell you this: when the reporting that they hadn't come to a deal happened, I was extremely concerned about that because I was worried, like, well, what if they lowballed him and now there's acrimony? And there still theoretically could be some acrimony, but the reporting about the size of the deal, that it was, unclear how many years, how much guaranteed money it was, but 20 million a year, at least, right? 100 million deal has to be at the minimum 20 million a year, and presumably that's what it was. That's kind of where I'd peg his value at.
Right.
It's if they offered him that, I'm less concerned about it because the worry with a restricted free agent is that they will go find a deal that's going to be too expensive for the home team and he'll walk away for nothing. It seems like he wants at least or better than the Bari deal. It's like, because that's what's 20 million. 100. The Bari deal is only like 120 million.
Yeah, it's 122. So he probably
yeah.
wants like 120 at least. Like,
right.
Yeah.
So he wants in that neighborhood or better.
Right. And he wants more guaranteed money probably with the Rockets we're going to offer.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would guess that like at the minimum, the last year would be a team option in that deal. Probably more non-guaranteed options throughout there as well.
I actually read an interesting article. Actually, I want to give the person credit. I can't remember, but if you know who you are. I promise. I'm trying to think of the name. But this person proposed, I believe it was the Chronicle, or it was either Chronicle or USA Today. This person proposed Eason getting a deal similar to what Kevin Porter Jr. got, with like those deadlines where the and that was interesting to me, and that does seem like a deal Houston would offer to Eason, especially with the injury history, not for like the attitudinal reasons that they offered Kevin Porter Jr., but more for health reasons.
His history and his quality. Because the other thing is that watching him play in the start of the season and even during preseason. How should I put this? I like Tari as a player. I think he's a player that fits in on basically any roster and basically any situation. But he is not as good as his contract demand suggests he thinks he is.
That's what I was going to get to. So I think it's very possible. I think he can be a starter on our team. No, flat out. Like I think if he wasn't on this team, he'd probably be a starter somewhere else. But for this team, I don't see it, and Houston has to look at it like that, right? They also have a lot of money invested in the front court and to players that are like him, right? Like not perfect facsimiles of him, but like that fill his role, right? Can he get Jabari money from some other team next year? I mean, maybe. Like he's gonna have to showcase some real potential this year, and frankly, I'm a little puzzled at how he does that.
That's why I kind of think I'm a lot less worried now from a Houston Rockets perspective, a little more worried from his perspective, which is that my concern was that they were willing to only go up to like 17 million a year or something, and he wanted like 21 million a year, and they couldn't meet there. That could be a problem because it would be totally plausible he gets 20 million a year from somebody in restricted free agency. But if Houston's willing to pay 20 million a year for him, I don't like. The only way he gets more than 20 a year in restricted free agency is if he plays significantly better than he's been playing. So that's a good scenario. That's totally fine. If he goes out there and he plays like a $25 million a year player, that's a huge win for everyone involved. That's great. Like it might mean the Rockets have to like take on some financial pain or even let him go, but it means he was really good this year. If he's playing at the level he's playing now, he's not going to see that. And they'll just happily match whatever offer he gets. So it kind of makes me worry. It makes my concerns that this is going to be like a festering situation that has a like negative outcome at the end of it, and they have to take drastic action much more allayed. I think they can just afford to slow play this and to say, well, you're just playing for the team for a year, so
I mean,
go out there and play.
Dorian Finney-Smith is out right now, and Eason still isn't starting. And what's Eason's role gonna look like when Finney-Smith comes back, right? Like he's pretty much gonna have to play like 20 to 25 minutes a game this year to put up
he's gonna have to earn it.
Yeah, and
he's just gonna have to earn it.
And like everyone knows he's a fantastic steals and blocks guy, which is why the analytics loved him, right? Like analytics loved him coming out of college, scouting on him. Like it's out now, right? Like everybody talks about it, but like aside from that, on the offensive end, like this isn't James Harden coming off the bench for Oklahoma City in 2011, right? People
No.
don't feel that way about Tari Eason. Like Tari isn't that guy with the ball in his hands. He's just never been that guy. He's very helter-skelter. He's frankly a little scary watching him when he has the ball in his hands in half-court settings. Like that's just not like his game so far. Can he get to it? Maybe, but I mean, I haven't seen it yet this season. His camp is either overestimating his offensive value or they think a team is going to drastically overpay for his defensive value alone. Could that happen? Sure. I'm skeptical. I can always appreciate when a guy bets on himself. Don't get me wrong. I can always appreciate it, but I would have taken that money.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And you know what makes guys get overpaid in the offseason?
What's that?
It's if the team does really well in the playoffs. I think if they were to make the finals, then he very well might get that kind of offer in the offseason.
Some stupid team like Bismack Biyombo playing late in the playoffs and getting that contract from Orlando. Yeah. I mean, like this happens for sure. Sure. Yeah.
But again, like I feel like the bad scenarios for the team in this negotiations now include like necessarily good things happening for the team as well.
Yeah.
So I think it would be in perhaps everyone's best interest if he plays really well and helps us make a really deep playoff run. That's great. I hope he does it. I'm rooting for him. I don't think I would have offered him a bigger contract than the Rockets did. So good luck and go get a better offer.
Right. And like what the scouts pre-draft would have told you is the measurements are insane with Tari, right? The hands, the size, like the speed. He is so fast. He's so athletic, so uber athletic. He is a physical specimen, really, truly. He is that, right? And they're like, people always talked about it, right? The shades of Kawhi because of the size of the hands, right? It's like,
sure,
okay, guys, like that's Kawhi, right? And like this feels to me like generously like a Jeremy Grant situation, right? Like where there might be more offensive juice there than it's currently being displayed, but probably not enough for Houston to bend over backwards to pay him that kind of money. Especially when they're close, they're flirting with the second agent. I like Houston letting him test the waters in restricted free agency next year because, frankly, 5 years, $100 million, that's already getting close to the max that I would offer.
Yeah.
That might be it.
I think it's unlikely he gets a better deal than that. Like I think it's very again unless he plays really well. So, I hope he does. I think he's better than what he's shown in the first couple games.
Mm-hmm. He is a rhythm player too. Like it takes him a while to get going.
Like, but I feel like him being like he's like a good sixth man, right? That's kind of I feel like
what he was
where
in college
he's
too.
at.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a good sixth man. Not like an amazing one, but a good one. Like one you want to keep around. And he thinks he's a starter. And if he can play his way into that, great. But I think most likely he's just kind of going to have to deal with that role.
Yeah, or maybe even like Pascal Siakam's actually I think a pretty decent like goal for him as a player archetype, right?
Sure, yeah.
But like Pascal he just showed more on-ball chops than this at this age, right? Like you have to look. Like and also Pascal is one of the greatest development stories of all time. So is Kawhi Leonard. Like we have to be realistic when we're talking about this. Like you're expecting insane leaps, right? Like when you talk about these guys. But it does leave. Go ahead.
Let me connect some dots here. So he's not getting starts, right? Tari's not getting starts, which has to be a bit of a bummer for Tari because. Which we'll get to in a second, a starting position had opened up recently for the Houston Rockets.
Two
of them.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them had someone come right in to fill that slot.
Yeah.
Well, I get two. Yeah, you're right. Because the one from the Kevin Durant trade and the one from the other thing we'll talk about shortly. But I feel like Steven Adams has been starting in these games so far, which is an odd choice. I understand it. But I think an underrated part of why Steven Adams is starting is because Steven Adams is like unimpeachable from a player respect standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Like you can't be mad that like a vet that everyone loves, like Steven Adams, is starting over you, really.
And he's
But
calm in a way that this team kind of
yeah,
needs, right?
but if Reed Shepard starts over Tari Eason, I think you start to have worries about like what that looks like in the locker room.
Well, yeah, we can talk about Reed Shepard. Like my thing with this is like, I believe in like Tari Eason. I think he is a very good NBA. Probably gonna end up being a very good NBA player. I actually think
Yeah, I think he's had a long career.
I think starter actually. Like I think like starting power forward somewhere, right? On this team, I don't see it. That's my thing.
No,
on
too many good long forwards on this team.
Yeah, I like Jabari more as a prospect. Just for straight up, I like Jabari more. Straight up,
Well, he's a better player.
I liked Cam more straight up, right? Like, and that does like, like ever since VanVleet went down, it's like I already hated the Cam Whitmore trade, but I've hated it so much more since VanVleet went down, and now that this Eason extension didn't go down, it's like, did they pick the wrong guy? Right, the wrong young guy, because they could actually use Cam Whitmore in the backcourt right now for some minutes, right? Like they need shooting in a big way, and
it's true.
And I don't know, like that's just, it's been running through my head since that trade. But anyways,
not to bury the lead, but Fred VanVleet went down for probably the season. That's the other thing that happened.
This was a gut punch, the likes I haven't felt since like Chris Paul going down. Because this really did feel like a championship roster, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm not. I wrote about this this week. I don't know what this roster is, right? I don't want to put a ceiling or a floor on this, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That's kind of where I'm at with the roster. Even 2 games in, I don't feel like I've had enough information. I mean, like, obviously I don't have enough information.
They don't either. No one does. It's such a huge change. He was as they say, the floor general. Like, he was an integral part of that team. They were counting on him for a lot of things, like including point of attack defense, but notably including low turnovers, being able to calm the system down and make reads and hit shots. Like, he had the suite of abilities that this particular group really needed. They really needed to have that kind of expertise and that kind of like classic point guard plus shooting ability set that he brings. And now they don't have that. They don't have a Fred VanVleet replacement on the lineup. They hope it could be Reed Shepard.
It's not this year. It's not this year.
But it's not this year.
Yeah,
It theoretically could be in later years, but he's not ready. He's just flat out not ready, and it's not his fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's the random chance of Fred VanVleet suffering a torn ACL during a practice.
Let's stick on VanVleet for a second before we talk about roster impacts. So he signed this extension with the Rockets, right? Again, like it just
$250, right?
Yeah. I mean, like it's not a huge number, but like it does suck right now that he's not playing. But is he okay? Fred VanVleet was a good point guard, right? He was a good NBA point guard, but I don't think he was one of the best point guards in the NBA, right? I think he was probably like 10 to 15 at his position, right? 10 to 15.
That feels right.
Right.
Yeah, that's where I would have pegged him. I would have pegged him like 12 or something.
Is he a safe starter next year?
That's kind of up to Reed Shepard.
Yeah.
I think.
But also, like, it's up to VanVleet, too. How does he recover? Yeah. He's a small guard. He's coming back from a pretty significant injury, an injury that used to end careers, right? Yeah. And still does occasionally end careers, right? Like, I don't know. I
mean, it's hard to say because all right. So the full story on this is that during a practice, he tweaked his knee and had to come out. And not even had to come out. He was made to come out. And then they did a scan on his knee, and it turned out he had an ACL tear. So he seemingly felt that he was good to keep playing on it.
Right.
And then he had a surgery just about 1 month ago, and he's walking around without a brace at this point, which is also there is by all accounts a significant amount of hope and like belief inside the Rockets organization that he will be able to return to play at some point this season.
Well, they can't.
I don't know if they're going to say that either way. I don't know how if that's true or not. But the fact that he's walking around now does give me a little bit of pause. I don't know. Like again, this is an injury that like ends people's careers in previous years, and usually makes you out for sure for at least a calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
Can he come back sooner? I don't think he'll be the same. Like if he were to come back, he's not going to be like 100%.
Yeah, and
he's not going to be 100% for another like year and a half or
and
something like that.
A good counter to this is it is 100% true that sports science has come a long way, and ACL injuries
it's getting better every year.
Are recoverable, and like not all ACL injuries are the same, right?
Yeah,
like that's also something important to know, right? Like
we don't know how exactly it tore or what that means for his recovery until he's back.
There's new ways to do surgery on it now, right? There's also like I mean there's a lot we've made it a long way in medicine. So maybe
but this is to say that he might be recovered enough next season that he is 80-85% of his normal ability by the start of next season, and in that case you're like, well, what do we have? It's better than that. And if it's nothing, which it probably is, you start him.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be 32 next year, right? That's my thing. Like I always
fine current in the NBA 32 is like not a big deal.
At his size though, and like point guards decline fast. Like they decline faster than any position, right?
It's true. They take longer to spin up and then they fall off more quickly unless they're like Mike Conley or something.
Well, even Conley, like he declined pretty fast, right? Like
once it finally caught up to him, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. So I suspect he'll be a starter level player next year, but on this team, like let's okay. So now we can get into more how it impacts the Rockets, right? Because people are already talking about trades. And I even tweeted the first thing I tweeted about when VanVleet got hurt is like this. It's hard not to talk about trades after this, right?
Sure.
I don't know if that means being super cold about VanVleet himself or just replacing that space on the roster.
Well, we're gonna have to go over one thing before we move on. We have to stop and do the thing, which is to say the Houston Rockets have about $1.5 million of cap space under the first apron. They are hard capped at the first apron because of sign and trades they've done. They are not able to use any more money than that. Not that like it would go over the apron. They cannot sign a guy who costs them more than $1.5 million currently. Mm-hmm. That number, and because of that, they can't even sign a veteran minimum player because a veteran minimum player has a cap hit of $2.5 million. But that number will go down every single day because they're prorated. So what this means for the team, also anyone that they've signed, they've re-signed or extended or signed at all in the summer is unavailable to be traded or at least aggregated, which they have to aggregate. They don't have any choice here until December 15th. The long and the short of this is that until December 15th, the only thing that the Houston Rockets can do roster-wise is to trade one of their core players.
We're talking like legitimately like Şengün, Amen, like people who haven't signed any contract this summer. Yeah.
So they can't do, and you're not going to trade those guys. You're not going to trade like Amen, Şengün. Who else didn't get an extension this summer?
I think you can trade Durant as soon as December. But like,
because the extension's not, But you're not going to trade Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you're not going to trade Durant.
It's only guys you can't trade.
You can trade VanVleet in December, but again, like,
with his permission though, because he's hurt.
Yeah, he's an implicit no trade clause, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing, right? Like they can't. I actually think this is a good thing. I wrote about that. I think it's a good thing that they can't. It's like protecting them from themselves, right?
They have to see how it develops for like a month and a half,
right? Like I want them to look at this right before they do something like trade for Drew Holiday, right? Or like Derek White or whoever they throw in the name, right? Like I think there's a scenario where they can just play it by this season and like maybe get someone, but someone small. Like, here's the thing: people talk about, even fans. I don't think fans have fully caught up to where the Rockets are draft pick wise. I think we're still in the early stages of rebuild, like mentally. Like, oh, they have all these picks. It's like, no. They
They use
have,
them up mostly.
yeah, they have over the next 7 years. They have 8 first-round picks. They're 1 pick in the green, right? Over the next 7 years, they have 4 second-round picks. They're 3 picks in the red, right? And it's true that those picks are very valuable because of the swap rights they got from Brooklyn and Phoenix, excuse me. And so like the 2027 in particular, they have some really interesting possibilities, and they could maybe trade swap rights and stuff. That's all true, but that's the kind of ammo you only touch if you want to make a real swing. And I wonder if I would rather save that swing for when Durant's at the end of this extension rather than the beginning of it.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I think I more or less agree with you that like people are saying, oh, this is terrible. They're like they needed it. I mean, look, you never want to miss on a contention window year. You only get so many of those,
especially one where you're paying the tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's not the end of the world if they have to go all in next summer and not. It's like this next year is the really all in year and not this year.
Yeah.
That's like not like. It used to be that everyone considered that super teams, which they have aspirations to be one, take a minute to gel after they make the big trade. Like, it's not uncommon for a star to take a year to figure out his role in the new team and new system. So I don't think it's that. But if this is a lost season meaning not a championship, like that's not that big of a problem. They're going to have more players available to trade January 15th also. I think the natural point is for them to wait until January 15th and then assess where they're at. Or, do it. Like, they're going to be assessing the whole time. But, like, wait until then to make any decisions about what you're going to do.
Yeah.
Because if guys are developing, if guys are learning and the team is coming together, if things are improving over time, then I think, you can afford just to be like, we don't need to make any in-season panic trades. We don't need to do a big swing. We can just let this ride, see if Fred comes back in the summer, and then and come at it next year.
Yeah, and again, like the Rockets should try to preserve like this championship window and not like burn all not all at once, right? Like you already used some chips this offseason, right? And you traded away a chip, right? In Cam Whitmore, right? Like people may not consider him a chip. People are really crapping on the internet right now. I still believe in the guy. I'm sorry. I think the guy's really talented, right? But I think the move here, if I'm Houston, if I'm Rafael Stone, at the deadline, I do make a move, but it's a marginal move. And I'm more likely to move second rounders than first rounders. And I try and see if I can get the disabled player exception from the NBA, right? And then after that, you explore options. Yeah, go ahead.
The problem with the disabled player exception is that it doesn't help them unless they make some salary dumps,
right?
Because they're still can't go over that apron.
Capped. Yeah,
they're still hard capped. Yeah, but I mean, I think that they do have one particularly elegant solution if things get bad enough, which is that Tari Eason has made himself into a trade asset.
That's what, and he's kind of the perfect guy to discuss here, right? And frankly, like long term, if you're gonna move someone from this young core, right, which of the young core remaining, we're talking about Amen, Şengün, Tari, Reed, right, and
Bari
and Jabari, excuse me, right? If you're
not moving Alpa, you're not moving Amen, and you're not moving Bari.
Probably not. Yeah. And Reed, you need more time to look at. Tari's the one.
Yeah,
right.
He's the one, and he's put himself in a position where like it's unclear that he will return. If there's a chance, he could go for nothing in the offseason. So if he's kind of the coins in the piggy bank, like if things get bad, he's who they're gonna go to and say, well, we can make some draft picks out of him. Basically, like he's a positive trade asset. Like trading him will mean we don't have to dip so much into our future assets to do whatever we need to do to try to pick someone up. Whether it's like, whether it's ask Fred if he wants to go to Boston or something, whatever it would be. If you're going to do it, he's a pretty good incentive, and then you feel good about it because you got something back for him and don't have to worry about his contract situation.
I just hate the idea of trading for someone like Derek White, right? Like Derek White's very good. Don't get me wrong, he's very good. But if I'm going to use these primo assets, I want to use that on a primo talent, and I'd rather use that when I need a primo talent. Right now, the Rockets don't need a primo talent, right? The Rockets need a complementary.
They need their guy back.
Yeah, they need they needed VanVleet, and now also like I just kind of want to see what they need, right? Like what do like can we look at them for 25 games where we make panic calls and clip videos of like Amen Thompson turning the ball over and be like, look, this is why the Rockets need a point guard. It's like, can we just wait? Yeah. Can we just wait like 25 games?
We know they need a point guard. I mean, they haven't even played Aaron Holiday yet.
Why can't Amen be that point guard? Like everybody's talking about Reed. Like here's the reality: Amen was drafted to be a point guard. He was a point guard like prospect. Can we see him with the ball in his hand for more than like 2 games before we start making? He looked really good that first game. Before he left the game with cramps, he looked really good. Like Şengün looked really good running the offense in the half court.
The first game did look a lot better. The second game, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, that second game looked like a team that was trying to like not step on each other's toes. Like Durant didn't want to step on the young players' toes. The young players didn't want to step on Durant's toes. Like it's like almost like they didn't know how they wanted to do this.
Well, that's an underrated part of it too. Is that the first game didn't really involve that much Durant doing stuff. Kevin Durant kind of was on the sidelines in the first game, and he kind of just let them do their thing. In the second game, clearly they're starting to try to like inculcate him into the system. They want to work him in a real way, and they're having to figure this out how to do it on the fly. That's the thing, is that not only are they having to work around losing their starting point guard, and they're only like real point guard of like starting caliber, but they have to also work in a superstar into this system and try to figure out how that meshes. And yeah, Kevin Durant is very portable, as people say, but it's still not nothing. It's still an issue. So they have a lot of things that are upstream on right now. They're having to swim upstream on a lot of different fronts, and it sucks that they're down 0-2 on the season, but losing by 1 in double overtime to the Thunder is not shameful in the slightest. And then losing by 4 to the Pistons isn't what I would have drawn up, but it could be a hell of a lot worse.
Also, like, can we see how they look when Dorian Finney-Smith comes back? Like,
and he should be back in like a couple weeks or something, right?
They're missing a starter, right? Like they're missing their starting small forward, who's a very good shooter, could help solve a lot of this actually, right? By spacing the floor a little bit more than what they have right now. Like can we see them in more lineups? Like, can we just stop panicking? Right? Like, I mean, the VanVleet's already done, right? This season should be now, let's see. Let's watch. Because now the championship expectations, I know they may self-impose it. I don't care. Nobody else is. So why should you as a spectator?
Some people are, but who cares?
Right.
Like, I think the reality also is that, like, people who talk about the NBA and people who are fans of the NBA are going to be freaking out about this, but they freak out about everything. And also, they're just commentary and they're just fans. What matters is whether the team is freaking out. If they're not freaking out, who cares? I think everything else is noise.
I think the Rockets have more slack from the national commentary than you're giving them credit for, though. Like, I think when VanVleet went down, people gave the Rockets like a pretty big. Yeah,
they're still going to be contenders.
They'll still be a top 4 team, but people thought that this is a pretty significant injury. Like, how are they going to recover? Like, there's a lot of discussion about this, right? And so, I don't think they have to. If you're a Rockets fan watching this, first of all, you shouldn't care about what other people say. Second of all, just wait.
Yeah,
some of this will be solved with patience. I promise you, because you have a starter coming back. You have these players gelling together. I just want to see it longer than 2 games before you start going on the ESPN trade machine and plugging in contracts. Can we wait a little bit?
I've seen a lot of fans already saying, "Oh, we have to drop Reed or whatever." All right, here's what I'll say. An underappreciated aspect of this also is that between these 2 games, I think the Rockets haven't even played particularly well. I think both games I would rate as somewhere between a D+ and a C+ as far as how well they can play. Even the Thunder game, I think both teams look disjointed, and against the Pistons, no one looked like they were playing to their potential. So
Yeah.
even just playing better is going to make a big difference for this team going forward.
And if I could make some constructive criticism on the coaching, I don't like.
Yeah.
I understand. Like, so we talked before the season. It's time for Ime to run a big boy offense. Now that he's got the big boy weapons, right? I understand that they're playing this whole offense by committee, but maybe not bring the ball up by committee. Like, I don't like that. Like, can we
Yeah.
have like a designated guy to just bring the ball up? Like, can you just
It is
have
like a different guy every possession, huh?
yeah, like, and it tires out like your main guys, your go-to scorers. Like, maybe have like Amen Thompson do that like every time, and then maybe like for the bench units have Reed do it. Like, this idea that you should have it be by committee when bringing the ball up, I don't like that. Okay, like maybe you want to run pick and rolls with a new guy every time? Sure, I like that. I like the looks that Şengün's getting. Last game I didn't think he had the greatest game, but I do like that they're running a lot through him. So that's great, but maybe not have him bring the ball up every single time. Maybe not have Jabari bring the ball up every single time. Again, I like that Jabari feels confident doing these things, and I like how he's made some real strides in his game, right? Like, especially just pulling up and shooting, right? Like I think people are overestimating how much he's gotten as better as a ball handler. I thought he made some real strides last year, right? Like, he's gotten better for sure, but like I think it's more him bringing the ball up and then converting into a shot that's really impressive. But like, I like that these guys can do these things, but they shouldn't have to do these things. Like, Kevin Durant should have to bring the ball up a little bit more too, to be honest, right? Like this, like
Yeah.
he's more of a natural.
It would help him get the ball if he had it in his hands.
Right, like he's more of a natural bring the ball up kind of guy. I'm sorry, like it's just weird to have Şengün do it.
Yeah.
It just is.
That's a really good point too, because a big thing that was happening in that Pistons game in particular was that the guys bringing up the ball did not look sure of themselves because it was a different guy every time, and they kept getting trapped and hassled. Like, the Pistons were playing an aggressive defense that worked. It picked on where the Rockets were the weakest. It picked on where they were needing to make improvements and where they were shaky, and took advantage of it. So, I think you're right. They do need more of a system that is second nature, and it may be that part of this is they just have to do some. They have to do some of this. They just have to experiment somewhat because they don't have a choice, and it's going to look bad. That's the thing. Also, trying to figure out a new thing is just going to look bad because you got to look bad to look good, and they're going to be shaky for a while. They're going to be figuring it out for a bit, and they're trading potential playoff success for losing some games early in the season.
Fair. Also, another criticism directed at the coaching staff. Like, we're 2 games in, and I'm already a little over macro ball, right? Like I don't like the look with Steven Adams and Şengün starting together.
Yeah, I don't think they should be starting. I think Steven Adams being out there with Şengün is a great tool to have in the tool belt.
Yeah,
but I don't think it should be your starting one. I don't think they should be getting that. Should be you pull it out when you need to pull it out. They need, like, I'm sorry, but it should either be right now Reed or Tari. Probably Tari, because Reed does not look ready for it right now.
Yeah,
so and just let Amin be the point guard.
Yeah, if you're not feeling Tari right now, maybe like Josh Okogie. Again, just have it be
Josh
a normal.
Okogie's look good. He's looked good. Those minutes.
Yeah, he's looked really good, and like, yeah, let's just have like a normal functional basketball. I hate this thing where Şengün's playing power forward. Great. I'm glad he's getting better as a shooter. I'm glad he's letting it fly. God bless him. Right? These are developments in his game that he needed to make to get to the next level. That's great. But let's put him back in the paint and let's spread the floor around him a little bit more again. That was also cool.
Well, and this, like I said, this is a lineup you can pull out in stretches and against certain teams. Like, it worked quite well against the Thunder, but the Thunder are not the same team as the Pistons. They're not the same team as 28 other teams.
Yeah. Like the league is trending big. We get it. Like, every team starts big lineups. You don't have to start your big lineup though, right?
And also, Steven Adams only has so much in the tank. Is the other thing. Like,
he gets gassed easily. Yeah,
which is understandable. He's on the older side, and he's he was coming back from an injury, like when he was playing last season. I understand. Like, it's unreasonable to expect him to be able to play a full starter's worth of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But starting him when he's just going to sit for most of the game is also, I don't know. I agree. I don't think the Steven Adams thing is really working. I think it needs to be like a special teams type of deal, basically.
And this is kind of now I'm going to make a GM criticism, right? There is one center too many on this roster, right? Like, I just think you want Capella, great. You want Adams, great. Don't give me both of them, right? I think they would have been better to use that money on someone else other than Capella. I think at this point I would probably since Adams is the beefier contract, I would probably try to move him at the deadline, or at least explore moving him at the deadline, and get more of a traditional shooter in, right? Like, I just think
if you were to trade Adams and Eason, you can get something pretty good in there.
Yeah, I think so, right? And something that doesn't cost you too much, right? Like, you don't need too much draft capital there. And I like that kind of a package as something to think about once we get closer. We're not there yet. We're not there yet to discussing trades. We're just too early. I know people want to do it. I promise you we'll do it here. It's not right now.
It's not germane yet. I'll tell you this, though. I don't disagree. I think they play... But what I think is if they were playing a risky game by having so many centers and so few point guards. Because I think they wanted... Look, if VanVleet doesn't get hurt, we're probably this is fantastic. This rules. This is great.
This is a perfect spot for... They're throwing Reed into the water, but this is fine. This is a good spot for... Now it's too much.
Now it's too much, yeah. And and now we're oh, it's too many centers. They... This looks a lot better if they were gambling that exactly this one thing wouldn't happen, and then exactly this one thing did happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
you could also say that with Durant getting hurt or something. Right? You can say that with a lot of players on the roster.
But I think actually they're in less trouble if Durant gets hurt than if VanVleet gets hurt.
How so? Because perimeter scoring, there's not. It's not present on the roster, right? Okay, but I guess you're saying you don't go to perimeter scoring, you go to paint scoring. Is that what
you have other things you can do. They have no one else who manages a team on the roster at all, and they have Bari is similar to Kevin Durant. He's not Kevin Durant by any means, but he's in the same type of player. It's not they can score somehow without Kevin Durant. They seem to be having a hard time running point guard somehow without VanVleet.
I'd like to see some Aaron Holiday. He's on the roster. Let's use him. I know. The fear is then Reed's gonna be neutered. He doesn't have to be, right? VanVleet went down. There's point guard minutes for both of them now.
And if Reed's playing like Pee-Pee, let other guys play. I don't know. You need to develop Reed, but
Aaron Holiday's good. He's a good player.
Holiday's fine. Also, they have Davison. Let him get some run sometimes. I mean, maybe some of this is just they haven't been in a situation where it's not crunch time yet. Basically, both these games have been really tight, and they haven't been in a game where they're comfortably ahead or comfortably behind enough to run guys who are not the best dude they think for winning that particular minute of basketball. So maybe as they're in the more normal basketball games, we'll see some Holiday, we'll see some Davison going out there and seeing what they can do against NBA competition.
I'd like to see at least one lineup change, right? Next game, because this is when you're down 0-2 with a team that was expected to be a top 4 seed, even with the VanVleet injury, you do kind of have to at least make a lineup change, right?
You got to do something.
Yeah, VanVleet. I mean, not VanVleet. Sorry, Adams starting. That's probably what I would do. I would change that. I would start Eason.
That's the easy one. I mean, they have the Nets coming in town tomorrow. The Nets, who are not expected to be particularly good, so
this should be a W for them. It
should be a W for them. This is their opportunity to get a win, calm things down, right the ship a bit, and then just go about their business. So I agree. I think a normal lineup, playing Tari is more like a normal lineup. It's not normal exactly because you're still starting a 6'7" dude at point guard, but
And I also I'm reminding myself now that I feel like I'm being a little alarmist because I do feel like they played one good game and one bad game. They just happened to lose the good game that they played, right? They played pretty well against the Thunder. I thought I thought down the stretch it did start to get ugly, especially when a man got hurt, right?
Yeah, but that was a big problem.
But I mean, Şengün was awesome. Durant was awesome. Like they just got beat by the best player in the NBA, possibly the best team in the NBA for sure.
Durant was mostly good in that game, though he did make a couple boneheaded decisions and got lucky not to have made a third.
I mean, he missed that critical free throw.
Yeah, if he hits that free throw, it's done. They win that game if he hits that free throw, and then he bid on that pump fake, like the 8th pump fake of the possession by SGA there to foul him and send it to another overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And then also he tried to call for that timeout that they didn't have, which thankfully the referees didn't see and credit him, because if they had credited him, then that would have been a technical foul for the Thunder.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to find the right amount of Durant to use.
Yeah, and I think he's trying to find the right amount of Durant to use, and he felt bad about those weird late game slip-ups in the first game, and he tried to do more in the second game, and they're just going to have to they just have to figure it out, and it's not going to happen instantly, unfortunately. Yeah. I wish it would. I wish they could just go to their spreadsheets and hammer out what the perfect plan was and just do it. That would be wonderful. I wish that was how things worked, but they're just going to have to do it until they figure it out on the fly.
Yeah. I mean, like, my whole thing is we don't collectively all need to press panic. We all don't need to go to the trade machine.
It's fun to panic, but it's not useful.
Yeah, it's fun, and I guess to some extent, this is what fandom is, right? It's being irrational, right? Because it is irrational to follow a sports team in general, right? Like you could be doing much better things with your time, right? But I just feel like this is a step too far for me. Where like we're all talking about making significant trades when we don't have enough data.
They can't trade anyway. Who cares? Like that's the thing. Is the thing that matter? Like everyone, and that's the thing that bothers me the most is that there's so many people, especially people who should know better, who like cover the league, saying, "Oh, this team's going to make a trade." Well, if you ask your Houston coverage people, you'll find out that they cannot do any such thing, and so everyone's free. Look, everyone's free to talk about whatever they want, but like, I don't want to. Eventually, one gets tired of fielding they can't actually make a trade right now. Sorry. They can't actually sign a guy right now. Sorry. It's not actually on the table. There's nothing they can do until December 15th. So just keep saying they need to make a trade until it's possible.
You know who wouldn't be like the worst kind of stop? I realize we weren't supposed to do this, but like I just had the thought. Lonzo Ball wouldn't be bad. Because he's not too big of a piece where it would cost too much. No. But he can shoot, he can dribble, he can pass, he can defend, and he can play like 20 minutes a game. Right? You don't have to play him. Yeah. Like, and like when VanVleet comes back, he's not stepping on. Like I think it's a decent name. I don't know. Yeah. It's just a name that popped into my head. Lonzo Ball wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, we can bandy about names all we want. Just
we're not doing it tonight. We're not doing it tonight.
Yeah, but like nothing can happen until December or January. So
I guess like if I had one thing to close this out with, it's what we've been saying the whole episode. When I kind of been, like hammering down on, like, let's just all relax and watch, and let's just like see what this team is. I think there's a possibility this team like may not need there's a ceiling where this team doesn't need anything.
Yeah, I mean, if they can figure it out. Right, if they can stop turning the ball over every possession, then like things look pretty good. Actually,
yeah, and Dorian Finney-Smith can fill a lot of this stuff, right? Like I just think, and God knows, like have they given us a timeline on him yet?
No, all I know is that they said it's like basically the same thing as Jae'Sean Tate, and Jae'Sean Tate's already like available, so soon.
Yeah,
pretty soon.
All right. I mean, like we had no idea that he got surgery. I mean, might have been something to mention.
The team did, but
yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I got for you guys. 2 games in. Like let's just wait. Yeah. Let's just wait. It's 0-2, but really this could be interpreted as 1-1 if the ball bounces another way.
And you don't know anything about a team until about 20 games in anyway. Is the other thing. Like it's all just like. This is a 2-game stretch.
Yeah.
What can you take from a 2-game stretch? Well, like if you hear at the end of the season that a team who's like the 3 seed in the playoffs lost 2 games in a row at one point in the season, you would say, "Oh, There's nothing to say about that. So we needs to be at least like 15 or 20 games before we can even really take much away from any team at all.
15 to 20 games is really the amount of data you need to make decisions.
Yeah,
right. Like that's enough data to start thinking about decisions. Like that we're not even there yet. So like we're like 10% of the way there. So like
we need a lot more.
Yeah, we need a lot more.
So
yeah. All right,
if
guys.
they lose all the games, that's bad, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's still possible. I mean, the Rockets could break records. Who knows?
Sure.
So we don't want to rule anything out. But yeah. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher. We're on YouTube, which is where a lot of you guys will be watching us. Give this video a like because it helps the algorithm. Yeah, guys, have a nice day.